the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my black bone, some of my
where you say?
Embarrass under the former President Ria regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a big challenge for us as a motorcyclist and run irrelevant to say we are failure or foreigner.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasha?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did with this money? What happened? I said, let me arrest you for 30 million. My sister, 30 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is with the World Food Program.
K-News comes to you from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. You can listen to K-News at 6 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. every weekdays as we bring to you your news makers. K-News. K-News. Get all of the latest in the world of news. K-News. 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 K-News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to carry the protocol? Then you call the poll. Oh yeah, you know, I listen to Chemabele, the jack kept the poll while I do power plant. Why are you keeping the poll there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market.
Welcome to K-News at 6. For 45 minutes, a regular newscast presentation from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 101.9 FM. Anchoring this July 17 edition of K-News at 6. My name is Lorena Wise. We take this very short break to be back with details on the day's development. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Thanks for rejoining us. We take our very first development here. In a special sitting on Wednesday, July 16, the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Public Works and Judiciary presented its long-awaited report on the concession agreement and financing model of the ambitious 225-kilometer asphalt road project under a public-private partnership framework. The report tabled before lawmakers outlines the terms of the partnership between the government and private contractors to finance, construct, and maintain the road network. The committee emphasized that the agreement aligns with national infrastructure development goals while ensuring transparency and value for money. The 225-kilometer road stretch, once completed, is expected to significantly reduce travel time, boost trade, and improve access between key economic regions. Lawmakers, however, urged strict monitoring mechanism to ensure the private partners delivers to standards. According to the House of Representatives Chief Clerk, the project will present a strategic move to bridge our infrastructure deficit. We have scrutinized the concession agreement to protect the public interest and ensure long-term benefits. When she gives more details during the reading of the communication, Chief Clerk of the House of Representatives Major Science said.
Pursuant to a mandate of the House of Representatives, the Joint Committee on Public Works and Judiciary reviewed and analyzed the proposed public-private partnership concession agreement between the Government of Liberia and Private Fault Art Associates Incorporated to design, build, operate, maintain, and transfer 255 kilometers of priority national roads under a concession agreement totaling $363,908,768.44. The agreement is in keeping with Liberia's National Road Development Strategy and the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development aimed at fostering regional integration, trade, and access to essential services. Scope of the agreement. The concession agreement covers the following strategic corridors, road corridors. 1. St. Paul Bridge to Clay Corridor, 38 kilometers, 4-lane. 2. Clay to Bow Waterside Corridor, Sierra Leone border, 79 kilometers, 2-lane. 3. Clay to Tottenham Corridor, 22 kilometers, 2-lane. 4. Medina to Robertsport Corridor, Grand Cape County, 30 kilometers, 2-lane. And 5. Virginia to Manicoman Corridor, Lofa County, 86 kilometers, 2-lane. Total length 255 kilometers. Project value US $363,908,768.44. Financing model: public-private partnership. Financing structure: 60% Private Fault Art Association Incorporated and 40% GOL. Objectives of the agreement: to develop and modernize key regional road infrastructure linking Monrovia to Western Liberia and Northern Lofa, to enhance national and cross-border trade with Sierra Leone and Guinea, to attract long-term private sector capital for public infrastructure without immediate debt obligations to GOL, African Coastal Highway, essential for regional trade with Sierra Leone and the Mana River Union countries.
That was the voice of the Chief Clerk of the House of Representatives, Major Sion, there speaking. And for our next development, the House of Representatives has passed into a law a bill seeking to elevate the Monrovia Vocational Training Center and VTC into a full-fledged university. The decision was reached on Wednesday, July 16, 2005, during the 19th-day sitting of the second quarter of the second session, following the adoption of a report from the Joint Committee on Education and Public Administration and Judiciary. The bill was submitted by Macerado County Electoral District No. 2 Representative Sekou Kani. The newly approved law provides the following: that the institution will be officially known as the Monrovia University of Science and Technical Education. A 3-year phased implementation plan has been established to ensure a smooth and structural upgrade. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning is mandated to allocate special budgetary support beginning in the fiscal year 2026. A university council will be constituted to oversee the transformation process. The council will include representatives from government, academia, civil society, and industry. The transformation of NVTC is a significant milestone in Liberia's commitment to strengthening its technical education and workforce development strategy. The Chief Clerk of the House of Representatives provides details about the law.
Joint Committee on Education and Public Administration and Judiciary Public Hearing Report on a bill to elevate the Monrovia Vocational Training Center MVDC to university status. Introduction. Pursuant to the mandate of the House's Committee on Education and Public Administration, and in line with the legislative process for the passage of public interest bills, a public hearing was held on June 6, 2025 in a joint chamber of the legislature to solicit the views of stakeholders on the proposed bill titled, quote-unquote, an act to elevate the Monrovia Vocational Training Center to the Monrovia University of Science and Technology Education. The bill seeks to transform MVDC into a degree awarding institution with expanded technical and scientific academic offerings to meet national manpower development goals. 2. Objectives of the hearing. 1. To assess the merits and readiness of MVDC for university status. 2. To gather stakeholder input on the proposed transition. 3. To identify challenges and resource needs for implementation. And 4. To ensure the transformation aligns with Liberia's education and development priorities. The National Commission on Higher Education supported the transformation in principle, but insisted on adherence to accreditation standards to evaluate readiness.
And for our next development, the family of 8-year-old Avina Wia, who is battling a life-threatening case of kidney cancer, is urgently appealing for financial assistance. Speaking to K News, Avina's aunt, Madam Joyce Wia, disclosed that the young girl was diagnosed last week with cancer affecting both kidneys following a medical examination at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital in Monrovia. According to Madam Wia, time is critically short as doctors have given them just a 2-week ultimatum to secure life-saving treatment abroad. Working thus without immediate financial support, Avina's chances of survival are rapidly diminishing, and she has called on the government of Liberia, philanthropic individuals, and high-profile Liberians both at home and in the diaspora to come to the aid of her needs. The family is seeking a level of assistance to help cover the cost of emergency medical evacuation and specialized treatment and facilitate equipped to handle her condition.
My name is Joyce Wia. I came to Cool FM because my sister, Madeline Wia, daughter Avina Wia, is seriously sick. She at GFK hospital, and the doctor diagnosed her case and said that her 2 kidney damage. So this is why I'm here appealing to the public that they should help, because they say we should take her out of the country in less than 3 days, or else we will lose her. So this is why we're here today, to appeal to the Cool family for help. She has spent we took her from Cali and we carried her JFK, I think 2 or 3 weeks now. Yeah, she was to Cali, and Cali her down day before yesterday. She went to JFK. They transferred her to JFK, and we started doing all the testing. First they said the blood was dirty, and today now we went to do the other tests. I had told us that her kidney spoiled. She's 8 years. If somebody wants to help, you can contact us. This is her father's number. His name is James K. Taylor, 088-160-5050, and her mother Orange is 0778-254070. We have limited time, so I appealing to the public. They said we should gather 2,000 US in the period of 2 days to take her out of this country.
And for the next development, tension flagged at the Capitol building on Thursday, July 17, when an attempted handover of a protest petition to the Liberia Senate was violently disrupted by stone-throwing demonstrators, having at least 2 officers injured. The Capitol building, seat of Liberia's national legislature, became the scene of chaos as protesters under the banner of solidarity and trust for a new day began pouring rocks and sachets of water just moments before Senator Momo Cyrus, chair of the Senate Committee on National Security, could exit the premises to receive their petition. Senator Cyrus had been designated by the Senate leadership to accept the petition on behalf of the body. As he approaches the main gate, protesters erupted into chants of "Rogue Roll" and began throwing stones into the Capitol compound. The sudden escalation forced security personnel to retreat, and 2 officers, one from Liberia National Police and another from Capitol Building Security, sustained head injuries in the melee. Speaking to protesters shortly after the incident, Senator Cyrus expressed growing disappointment over the turn of events. The House of Representatives has ratified the protocol on the establishment of the African Court of Justice and Human Rights. House Speaker Richard Cohen disclosed that the instrument has been forwarded to Liberian Senate for concurrence and subsequent approval by President Joseph Boakai. Speaker Cohen made the disclosure at the opening of the one-day dialogue of Senate, that's dialogue of state and non-state actors, on the promotion of the ratification of the protocol of the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Monrovia on Wednesday. The dialogue, which was organized by the Independent National Commission on Human Rights of Liberia, brought together human rights activists, representatives of civil society organizations, and members of the judicial branch of government, among others.
I'm honored to join you at this important national dialogue on the ratification of the protocol to the African Court on Human and People's Rights. At the time called for advancement of justice, accountability, the rule of law in Liberia is so loud. This court is a crucial continental judicial organ intended to protect and promote human rights in Africa. Evidently, the African Court serves as a vital mechanism for safeguarding justice and human dignity across the continent. Therefore, the legislature welcomed this opportunity to engage in dialogue with key stakeholders to collectively reflect on the implementation and benefits of ratifying this mechanism. At the time I received this invitation, I quickly checked for the protocol. It might amaze you that the protocol being in our committee room for the past 1 year. As you may be aware, in June 2024, His Excellency President Joseph Newman Berger submitted a communication to the legislature requesting ratification of the protocol to enable Liberia's full participation in the African Court and recognizes its jurisdiction to hear individual complaints. The legislature immediately at the time welcomed the gesture and has since deliberated the bill on the floor and it was still in committee room as of the time I received this invitation. It might amaze you that upon receiving the invitation, I quickly called the Human Rights Committee, including the Committee on Judiciary, to quickly make a report with all of the deliberation done so far, so we passed the report. And yesterday, successfully, we did pass the report.
For his part, the chairman of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights of Liberia, Councillor Dexter Brown, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to the defense of human rights at a national and continental level. Councillor Brown encouraged the Liberian Senate to concord with the House of Representatives in the ratification of the protocol on the African Court on Human and People's Rights.
In 2024, the President, a delegation of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, visited Liberia and met with us. Their concern was that the protocol of the court has not been signed by the Liberian government, has not been ratified. We signed it in 1998, but up to present, we have not ratified it. And at 38 African countries have signed it. Signed it and ratified it, but Liberia have not ratified it. And so we met the pro tem and the vice president at the time and other government officials. And they assured the delegation headed by the president of the court that Liberia are going to make sure that this protocol is ratified. The reason why we are making it clear here and we are insisting that Liberia should ratify this protocol is that in recent times, this government has made effort. Since 1961, Liberia served on the non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council. From 1961 up to this time, we only served 1 year. Recently, we were successful, the government was successful to make effort. Now we are being placed on that non-permanent seat. And what we should know is that if we are on that seat, our concern should be the respect for the rule of law, peace, and stability in all nation states. Because the UN is dealing with not one country, they deal with all aspects of the country. But you who serving there, in your home, there must be peace and stability. And you have to raise the same issue for the other countries. Now, we gather here.
And that was the voice of Councillor Dexter Brown, the chairman of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights of Liberia. Earlier, you listened to Speaker Regina Wekon. And for the next development here, the Finance Minister, Augustine Boyka-Fan, has currently cautioned former Finance Minister Samuel Tuet against what he termed as deliberate attempts to smear his high-end reputation. The caution follows allegations made by former Minister Tuet last week in which he accused Minister Gaffan of authorizing the relocation of the COVID-19 stimulus fund to the school filling program. Minister Gaffan clarified that the relocation was confirmed by him, but only after it was proposed by former Minister Tuet during his term. Gaffan emphasized that the process was transparent and properly documented. He further revealed that the World Food Program reorganized and supported the decision, channeling over 80% of the funds amounting to more than 900 million Liberian dollars in the government's consolidated account. Minister Gaffan advised the former minister to concentrate on his ongoing corruption trial rather than restoring that's resulting to public accusation amid damaging his character.
By law, the budget is to be tabled at the legislature not later than the 31st of October. We in the executive intend to meet that deadline. Meeting the $1 billion target, I think we are knocking on heaven's door on that one. We will try to capacitate your ambition as much as we can. As we enter the budget process, the budget implications of some of their programs. And we're going to start with power, we'll go to infrastructure and roads and other sectors. Because these sectors are key. They represent the constraints to growth. When we deal with the power challenge in this country, we'll have dealt with something very critical. One of the main constraints, profitability of business, is the high cost of power. They want to sprint, we shouldn't be the reason why they crawl. And so we will be doing our part, not only with government resources, but mobilizing external financing so that we can meet our energy ambition. The road sector, infrastructure, we are happy that the letter we gave, we've seen the outcomes. The outcomes are on the road, from Ganta to Zwaju. So thanks to Minister Giddings and the team, and that the entire road agenda will be hugely supported on the ambition of the people as encapsulated in the National Development Plan. As we go to next year, we will try, but we need to raise the revenue. we need to raise the revenue. Because if we don't raise the revenue, we cannot give what we don't have. So, we focus heavily to support the domestic resource mobilization strategy as agreed with the Liberia Revenue Authority. Revenue enhancement measures will be supported. We know we've had some challenges, but some entities here, not just on the expenditure side of the budget, there are entities here that meet us from two different angles.
Monrovia City Police on Thursday stopped a his and forcibly opened a casket carrying the remains of a deceased woman en route to burial, citing heightened security concerns related to the ongoing Enough is Enough protest. The incident occurred near the University of Liberia campus on Capitol Hill and has drawn widespread condemnation, particularly from grieving family members who say the government's threatened security measures are crossing the line to harassment and disrespect even in death. City police officers defending their action claimed they were under strict orders to inspect any suspicious transport entering the capital, especially in the wake of what they describe as intelligence reports of possible weapons smuggling. And for the next development, the Liberia Revenue Authority has become the first government agency in Liberia to achieve full asset declaration compliance for its entire staff. Speaking at the joint press conference at its headquarters, LRA Commissioner General James Jalai said the move fulfills a 2015 board resolution requiring all employees, from janitors to senior officers, to declare their assets. He also announced that the next steps will include asset verification and lifestyle audits in collaboration with national integrity bodies.
It is important for us to clarify this to the public. The reason we went for requesting all staff of LRA to declare their asset is because in a 2015 board resolution, the board of the LRA at that time resolved that every employee of the LRA must declare their asset. And this is very, very important considering that LRA is the agency of government that raises revenue. The role of everyone in LRA is really very important and might be prone, to mishaps that will impede revenue collection. So that is why it was important for us to follow this mandate, even though the mandate was passed since 2015. But this feat has not been achieved, throughout these years. So with that clarification, I would like to just make my formal statement, because today marks a proud and transformative moment for the Liberian Revenue Authority. We are honored to stand alongside the LACC to formally announce the LRA has become the first agency of the government of Liberia to achieve 100% asset declaration compliance for all of our staff. And this includes staff who are drivers, from drivers to janitors, to office assistants, all the way up to the Commissioner General. This milestone is more than just a statistical achievement. It is a clear demonstration of our institutional commitment to transparency, accountability, and integrity in public service. As the nation's revenue authority, we recognize that trust is the cornerstone of effective tax administration. By holding ourselves to the highest standards of ethical conduct, we hope to set a precedent for others and reaffirm the public's confidence in our work as revenue collectors. We extend our sincere thanks once again to the LACC for its guidance and partnership throughout this process. This milestone is a joint success and a testament to what is possible when national institutions work together with a shared vision for a more transparent Liberia. Let me just tell you what we envision the next step to be. In the LACC role, as she mentioned to you, once assets are declared, the next step is asset verification. So we are going to be working with the LACC to make sure that these declarations, for those for whom verifications have not been conducted, verification will be conducted. And following verification,
For her part, the chairperson of the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, which partnered with the LRA during the process, praised the milestone and called on other government institutions to emulate the LRA's example. Councillor Alexandra Zoe described the development as a sign of institutional maturity and reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to supporting similar efforts across the public sector. Both institutions reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening transparency, accountability, and public trust in government services.
Integrity is not a slogan. It is a behavior, a deliberate and consistent action that must begin within the walls of our institutions. Asset declaration is one of the key pillars in our national anti-corruption framework. It serves not only to safeguard against misuse of public office, but also to build trust between government and citizens. At the LACC, we believe in collaboration, especially with institutions that are willing to walk the walk and talk the talk. Today, the LRA demonstrates that its commitment to good governance is more than rhetoric. It is a leadership by example. This move aligns squarely with Section 10 of the National Code of Conduct and the broader mandate of the LACC to promote integrity, investigate allegations of corruption, and support preventive measures across all sectors. Our partnership today signals a renewed era of interagency collaboration. We are not just witnessing asset declaration, we are witnessing institutional maturity in a culture where accountability is internalized. To all LRA staff, your decision to comply with this directive shows courage, and to other government institutions, we challenge you to follow suit. Let us make asset declaration a new norm, not a rare exception. In closing, the LACC stands ready to offer technical assistance, monitoring, and verification services to support this process. Together, we will continue to build a public service that is trusted, transparent, and truly committed to serving the Liberian people. Thank you very much.
And if you are just joining us, this is a reminder that you are listening to K-News at 6, a 45 minutes of regular newscast presentation from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9 FM. My name is Lorena Wise, anchoring this July 17, 2025 edition of K-News at 6. We take our next development here. The plenary of the Liberian Senate has overwhelmingly confirmed Associate Justice Yami Kofoe-Gbese as the next Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. Plenary, the Senate's highest decision-making body, took their decision during its regular session on Thursday, July 17, following the submission of a report from its Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Claims, and Petitions. Justice Gbese was recently nominated by President Joseph Numa to succeed outgoing Chief Justice CIA Nyan Ji Young, who has reached the mandatory retirement age as stipulated by the Liberia's Constitution. Article 72B of the 1986 Constitution provides the Chief Justice and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and judges of the subordinated courts of record should be retired at the age of 70, provided, however, that a justice or judge may continue in office for as long as may be necessary to enable him to render judgment or perform any other judicial duty in regard to proceedings entertained by him before he attained the age of 70. The motion to confirm Justice Bense was fulfilled by Mansurado County Senator Ibrahim Darustilon out of the 24 senators present during the session, all voted in the favor of the confirmation. Justice Bense will now assume the role as head of Supreme Court of Liberia, pending formal commission by the President. Lofa County Electoral District No. 2 Representative Julie Weah has currently backed a proposal from House Speaker Richard Nangwekon calling for women's reserved seats in the legislative. Recently, Speaker Kon vowed present a proposal seeking to reserve 10 seats exclusively for women during general and legislative elections. Expressing her support for the proposal, Representative Weah underscored that the move reflects a significant step towards increasing women's participation in national decision-making process at the legislature. She emphasized that women are mostly marginalized for elected seats in Liberian body politics. The Lofa County representative noted that having 11 elected women lawmakers from 103 seats in the 55 national legislature points to a political marginalization of gender equality. Representative Julie Weah said embracing the proposal for women's reserved seats will place Liberia among the community of nations with women's gender quartered in politics. He added the move will significantly impact women's voices in legislative decision-making processes.
In Liberia, the women are less represented. As we can see right now, out of 73 lawmakers, we have only 8 seats. And with that, most of the legislation, maybe that will be able to help more women, children, and even the country. It's difficult breaking it through because we are less. So we are appealing to our colleagues to allow us to have extra seats. So hearing this news championed by the speaker is a good news for all women. And we applaud that. The reason is the women are less. Securing extra seats, adding to the 8, for example, is 18. All right? But if you open it right now, you're the men, you are so powerful. It's just by luck and by blessing you find some of us keep coming back. But the men, you fight very, very strong. So creating a special seat only for women to contest, that gave Liberia a very good recognition in the world. So we find it difficult in getting to be heard. So if we are more, we bring more ideas because we come from different backgrounds. The women, we face the people, we do more interactions with our citizens. For example, I'm a mother of maybe 4 children. Those 4 children, I'm closer to them than even the men because the men go out every day to work and I have to take care of them. So I will know more about them than the father. So most of the time, I have to tell the father what to do. So with that, it's the same with the house. Getting more women, especially from different backgrounds, different careers, it will help Liberia in developing most of the legislation.
The street of Monrovia erupted Thursday with chants, resistance songs, and raw emotion as thousands of protesters intensified their demands for change under the Boakai co-administration. Demonstrators accused the president of violating the Constitution, mismanaging the economy, and worsening the already dire living condition of ordinary Liberians. Waving and shouting slogans like "Enough is enough," "We want job, not suffering," and "Boakai must hear us now," the protesters deliver a powerful message. Boakai, that's the generator, is molding us, protesters slam LTA leadership. Among the seed of songs and slogans, one placards stood out: "Generator is eating more than us." The sign was that's reference to Liberia's Telecommunication Authority Commission, who have come under scrutiny for reportedly receiving hefty compensation while most Liberians struggle to afford food and electricity. Grand Cape Mount Senator, that's Grand Cape Mount County Senator LNTVLIBERIALive has expressed frustration over the persistent failure of local county authorities to coordinate with lawmakers and provide vital financial report, warning that the situation is undermining legislative oversight and weakening development accountability. Speaking during Tuesday, July 15, 2025, at the County Local Authorities Senate hearing, Senator LNTVLIBERIALive revealed that despite repeated vapid and written attempts to seek clarity from the superintendent and county council on administrative and fiscal matters, no meaningful responses have been received. He noted that this growing lack of communication has disrupted coordination and made it difficult for senators to fulfill their oversight roles effectively, especially in the face of differing administrative interpretations and leadership gaps at the local levels. According to Senator LNTVLIBERIALive, the situation is even more troubling given that it is the legislature that actively advocates and appropriates public fundings for counties, including both county development funds and social development funds contributed by companies operating within the jurisdictions.
From my experience, even Cape Mountainers come and raise issue about the administration, and we seek clarity from the superintendent through writing or verbal, we do not get that necessary redress, which makes it difficult for coordination. I know when we are in leadership, people have different ideas as to how we should proceed. So people interpret the way they think and bring it to the leaders. So the only way a leader is in a balanced position to respond to issues raised is by hearing from the other side. In addition to that, this very legislature advocates and appropriate fundings to this county. Some of them through the county development funds, and some that are opportune to have social development funds. Those are monies intended for our counties. As leaders of those counties, we should be informed about some of the undertakings that those fundings are directed to. It will interest you to know that we have been here with this new administration a year and a half. Monies are being appropriated through the government budget and through the social development fund from companies that operate in our country. To this moment, I haven't received a single report for the last fiscal year. I do not have a single plan for the current fiscal year. That makes oversight very difficult, if not impossible. And this is not a fair way to coordinate. So this is my concern.
Grand Cape Mount County Senator Simeon Taylor has raised concerns over alleged financial misconduct by the county superintendent and members of the county council, accusing them of paying themselves benefits without legislative approval and refusing to provide budgetary reports. Speaking during the Senate hearing on Tuesday, July 15, 2025, Senator Tiller stated that since the establishment of the county council, there has been no formal engagement between local authorities and county's legislative caucus. He alleged that the officials are operating without transparency, ignoring Section 2.9 of the Local Government Act, and actively disrespecting lawmakers who request financial accountability. According to the senator, both he and his colleagues have made written requests for expenditure reports but have received no response from the local authorities. In response, Internal Affairs Minister Francis Lumali acknowledged that local authorities are not permitted to receive compensation unless such payments are approved by the legislature and included in the national budget. He admitted that there may be instances where local officials have failed to report appropriately and express regret over those shortcomings. Minister Numali informed the Senate that on December 14, 2024, he wrote to the President of Liberia and the Speaker of the House of Representatives requesting the legislature to define compensation guidelines and appropriate the necessary budgetary support for county council. He emphasized that the ministry is committed to addressing any evaluations once formal complaints are submitted.
Honorable members of the Senate, to the best of my recollection, up to where I sit under oath, having received any complaint from any senator for that matter against any of my county officials. I have not seen nothing has happened. I have no written record from any senator complaining to the best of my knowledge. I do know that the Honorable Senator of Bapu.
And for our foreign development, Burkina Faso military rulers have disbanded the country's electoral commission, calling it a waste of money. The Interior Ministry will handle elections in the future, state-run TV reported. Since seizing power in September 2022, the coup leaders have initiated sweeping reforms, including the postponement of elections, which would lead to a return to civilian rule. A nationwide vote was due last year, but the junta extended the period of transition to democracy until July 2029, allowing leader Cap Ibrahim Touré to remain in power and free to contest the next presidential election. Well, that's how we draw down the curtains on today's edition of K News at 6. It has been a joint effort from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 101.9 FM. My name is Lorena Wisse and I presented. Bye-bye.